perhaps the saving grace was that because of his commitment to the land of Israel, commitment to being in Jerusalem, that he went the way he would have wanted to go, which is in prayer in the land of Israel and Jerusalem.
The terrorist organization Hamas endorses nothing more than a continuing bloodbath against everything or anyone connected with Israel. There is dancing in the streets over the attack and murder this week in a Jerusalem synagogue that took 5 lives. And there are those who are fed up to the point of demanding a worldwide call for immediate and swift justice. Let's welcome to MidPoint. He is the former mayor of Shiloh, Israel, located in an area the world knows as the West Bank. In 2001, he and his young son were wounded in an attack while driving home from Jerusalem. He is also author of 3 books, including Peace for Peace, Israel in the New Middle East. David Rubin joins us today. David, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you. Good to be with you.
David, have we reached the point, in your opinion, where after what has happened this time in the synagogue, the celebrations that have followed, that it is time to take whatever is necessary, military, law enforcement, to go after, find, and execute Hamas, one by one, whatever it takes, but to kill them?
Well, I wouldn't say exactly that. I would say something slightly different. You have to remember that there has been terrorism going on for the past month continuously, almost every single day. And yes, Hamas did praise the attack, and Mahmoud Abbas of the Palestinian Authority's Fatah faction did not praise the attack. But Fatah, which is Abbas's faction in their unity government, Fatah has been paying the terrorists, and it doesn't matter whether they're Hamas terrorists or Islamic Jihad terrorists or Fatah terrorists. Abbas's Fatah faction has been paying every single terrorist that commits a terrorist attack in recent years. And I think it's time that we hold them accountable and not just complain about their incitement.
What about Mahmoud Abbas himself? Because, as you said, he condemned the attack. But there are people saying that if Abbas truly wanted to have peace, he would get rid of everything connected with Hamas in his cabinet. He would make sure that there was nobody in a position of authority, and he would make that break public and permanent.
Well, we have to understand that there is a partnership between Abbas and Hamas. The Palestinian Authority is a unity government, and they have been financing the terrorists, they have been inciting terrorism, they have been encouraging terrorism, and I say let's go into Ramallah and go to the Muqata, which is the Palestinian Authority's headquarters, and level it to the ground. That's what you do when someone is directing terrorism at your people.
Level it to the ground. That would come back to my first point. And again, I'm not trying to be overly dramatic here, but there are people who have called for this over and over again. When you say level to the ground, does that not indicate that it is time to go in with that full response force, find them, and take them out, man by man?
Yes, that is absolutely so. We have to recognize, first of all, there has to be a decision taken by the Israeli cabinet saying that the Palestinian Authority is an enemy authority, is a terrorist authority, and that the Oslo Accords have not worked. The so-called peace accords have not worked. And once we do that, then you declare the Oslo Accords null and void. And hence the Palestinian Authority, which was established as a product of those peace accords, is null and void. Once you do that, then you can start the painstaking task, which takes a long time and which is difficult, of going in and taking away their weapons. And I say take away the weapons from every single terrorist in Samaria, which is the northern part of the so-called West Bank, and in Judea, which is the southern part of the so-called West Bank, and yes, eastern Jerusalem as well.
I only have about 20 seconds left. In your opinion, then, who are the ones who are scared of doing this? Who are the cowards unwilling to go after Hamas?
The Israeli government is afraid of the pressure of the world and therefore is not taking the full action that they need to.
And you don't think that this will be the push that will finally get them over that edge?
I would like to think so, but I think we've got some ways to go. Unfortunately, there are going to be other terrorist attacks in the interim.
A tragic attack as well. 5 people dead, and this happens in a synagogue. David Rubin, it is always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much. You and your family remain safe.
I appreciate that.
All right, break and we'll return with the positive that emerged from the Bernie Madoff scam. Believe it or not, there actually was something that was good out of it all. And at 34 minutes after the hour, there is a sliver of hope for an American space program. Remember when we actually had one? Well, we might have one again. That and so much more coming up right here on MidPoint, where every day we question everything.